Hey everyone, Andrigats here, and today we'll be diving into all the exciting changes coming with Season 4, including significant updates to dungeons, raids and PvP. Scheduled for release on April 23rd in NA and April 24th in EU, Season 4 promises to shake things up, so let's delve right into it. Alright, first of all, in Season 4 we get a 39 item level increase from all across the board, which includes outdoor activities like world quests, events such as the Dream Search, so time to gear up those remaining outs. This item level boost also applies to indoor activities like dungeons. In this season specifically, we're witnessing significant adjustments made in the dungeon environment after a very long time. Essentially, we're experiencing a dungeon level squish. For starters, heroic dungeons will see a notable increase in difficulty. While normal dungeons will remain unchanged, heroic and higher level dungeons will undergo a considerable tuning. More specifically, heroic dungeons will be around the difficulty level of a current Mythic 0 dungeon. This adjustment luckily extends to their rewards to be more fair, with a corresponding increase in the item level requirement for queuing up. So they are still staying in the LFR, but difficulty and rewards will go up. As a result, a Mythic 0 will move up to roughly the current level of a +10, albeit without the pressure of timers or affixes. The difficulty and rewards will be significantly higher, but everything else remains the same. They will retain their weekly lockout and players will still have the flexibility to change their spec or talents while inside the dungeon. This change is expected to provide a challenging experience to all players, but again, without a timer to worry about, it shouldn't be that hard. As a chain reaction, the existing Mythic Plus system will also see a significant overhaul, with dungeons scaling up in difficulty and rewards. To put it into perspective, a Mythic 5 dungeon in Season 4 will be equivalent in difficulty, rewards, and rating to a +15 in the current season. This means that a +10 in Season 4 will be as challenging as a +20 is right now. With this adjustment, dungeons will present a much greater challenge, resulting in a narrower range of keystone levels. Eventually, players will experience more meaningful progression between each level and hopefully less toxicity. As with previous seasons we had so far, the Mythic Plus dungeon rotation will also be shaken up, bringing back all 8 original Dragonflight dungeons. These include Ruby Life Pools, Bragen High Hollow, the Nohud Offensive, Uldaman, Legacy of Tyr, Neltharus, the Azure Vault, Halls of Infusion, and Algitar Academy. Yeah, I know, all of our favorites. But, keep in mind, a lot of nerfs are flying around, so, maybe they're not as hard as we remember them. In addition to the shift in the dungeon pool, you can expect adjustments to the affix system as well. While Fortified and Tyrannical will continue to apply from a +2, new affixes will be introduced at lower keystone levels. At +5, an additional affix will be added and the final affix will come into play at a +10. Furthermore, Crests and Flystone rewards are being adjusted to align with the new dungeon difficulties. Essentially, what this means is that completing a +2 in Season 4 will yield the same number of Flystones as completing a +12 in Season 3. And speaking of Crests, in Season 4 there will be a new type of Crest called Awakened, and there are some changes as to how to obtain them. With the removal of certain lower Mythic Plus difficulties, Whelbling and Drake Crests will no longer be available from Mythic Plus dungeons. Instead, players can earn Whelbling from heroic dungeons, while successful completion of a Mythic 0 will reward with 10 Drakes. Wyrms will be obtainable from a Mythic +2 to 5, with quantities matching those of existing Mythic Plus dungeons. Aspects, on the other hand, will be available from a +6 and higher, with drop rates remaining consistent. Basically, if you time it, you get 12, and if you complete it but not in the time, you'll get 5 Crests. It's worth noting that completing at least one +10 will ensure that players receive the maximum reward from the Great Vault, which is of an item level of 522. Here's a more detailed list. If you would like to check the current gear that drops from Mythic Plus, you can screenshot it, and huge thanks to Ghost Opera for creating this. In Season 4, achieving Keystone Master, which requires attaining a Mythic Plus rating of at least 2000, will reward players with the Infinite Armored mount. Even though it's still a recolor of the previous KSM mounts in Dragonflight, I do believe this is my favorite so far. Before I move on to the raids, I do want to know that the requirements for dungeon portals and hero achievements have been revised. Previously, these rewards were obtained from completing a plus 20 or higher within the time limit. However, due to the increased difficulty of dungeons, this threshold has been lowered to a plus 10 or higher. I'm actually so glad they did this change to reflect the new scaling of dungeon difficulty and ensuring that players are appropriately rewarded for their achievements. Moving on to the raids, in Season 4 we won't have any new ones. Instead, we will revisit the 3 Dragonfly raids, which include the Vault of the Incarnates, Aberus, and Yggdrasil. These raids will offer a higher level of difficulty compared to their previous iterations, along with better loot rewards. This mirrors the pattern seen in the previous Shadowlands Season 4 with faded raids, however this time around we are calling them Awakened, for obvious reasons. The 3 raids will be on a weekly rotation, with one of them becoming Awakened each week. When a raid becomes Awakened, its difficulty increases, but so does the overall loot quality. Starting off with LFR, the first bosses drop for 18 gear, and similar to previous seasons, the final bosses in each raid drop items with a higher item level, specifically 9 levels higher. This means the final bosses of LFR will drop for 89 loot. In normal difficulty, gear drops range from 493 to 502. Heroic difficulty offers loot ranging from 506 to 515. And finally, Mythic difficulty provides the highest loot available, ranging from 419 to 428. That being said, we still have the very rare drops that are a few item levels higher, and specifically from the last bosses can be up to 16 levels higher than the initial raid loot in the same difficulty. Along with the Awaken raids, the Dinar type system is also returning in Dragonflight Season 4. Originally introduced in Shadowlands Season 4, this system acted as a form of a bad luck protection, providing players with a guaranteed method of obtaining desirable weapons, gear, and trinkets if RNG gods weren't in their favor. In this season, the Dinar is being renamed to Antique Bronze Bullion. As of writing this, we don't have a confirmation on how this will be obtained, but once Blizzard provides more information, I'll delve into more detail. What we know at the moment is what the Dinar vendors will sell. The bullion currency can be used to purchase weapons, trinkets, and even cosmetic items from all of the Dragonfly raids. There are 4 vendors located in the parting glass on the east side of Valdragen in the bronze area over here. 3 of them are dedicated to each of the Dragonfly raids, while the 4th one on the back exclusively sells cosmetic weapon appearances. The transmog appearances cost 1 bullion each. Weapons, trinkets, and some of the rarest loot are being sold for 2 bullions each. Additionally, if you are an evoker or a plate user, you can purchase the Scale of Awakening, an upgrading item for your legendary weapon, but more on that in a bit. The cosmetic vendor also seems to be selling Jigglesworth for 3 bullions. This slime cat mount originally appeared during the faded Shadowlands season, but is making a second appearance for Dragonfly Season 4. It doesn't seem that everyone is happy about it, but I'm completely fine with it. I mean, people being given another opportunity to obtain something they missed out? Sure, why not? I don't understand why people are being salty about it. I mean, you don't have anything better to worry about? But anyways, it's worth noting that all the vendor items drop on a brand new upgrade track called Awakened. This allows you to upgrade the item all the way to its max mythic item level, which is 528. So we are talking about a very powerful piece of gear. Okay, so as I promised, back to the Legendaries. What's gonna happen with Nazuro, the Unbound Legacy, the Evoker's Legendary as we know it, and Firala the Dream Render, the played-only exclusive Legendary? Well, in Season 4 these Legendaries will become relevant once again, thanks to a new upgrading item called the Scale of Awakening. This item allows players to upgrade their Legendary to a base 502 item level, after which they can further upgrade it using Flystones and the new Awakened Crests. So if you are playing Paladin, Death Knight, Warrior or Evoker and you haven't obtained your Legendary yet, now is the time to do so, or at least start working on them. The drop rate is still considered very low, but it increases with each attempt you make, and there is a battle lag protection system in place. Nazuro drops from Sarkareth in Aberus raid, and Firalath drops from Firak in a Midrasil. To purchase this upgrading item, you'll need 2 dinars. Currently, we have no clue on how to obtain them. However, what we do know more is about the Awakened Temple Stone. Alongside the dinar, there will be a new currency, a new tier Omni-Token, if you will, that drops from the end raid bosses of the Awakened raids. That basically means Razageth in Vault of the Incarnates, Sarkareth in Amberus, and Firak in Amirdrasil. These Omni-Tokens are universal, they don't have any class or any armor type attached to them, meaning everyone can roll on them. They can be used to purchase a tier set piece from a vendor named Runagos, again in the same area with the other dinar vendors. Note as well that the difficulty of the Awaken rate, from which the Omni-Token came from, will influence the initial item level and upgrade track of the piece that you can buy. And while we are on the topic of tier sets, let me say it loud and clear, it's official. Tier sets are making a comeback in Season 4, but with no new raid in sight, Blizzard has placed their trust in the hands of the community. We were given the opportunity to vote for our favorite Dragonflight set bonus and Transmog separately. Based on the votes for each spec and class, the most popular tier set will be introduced in Season 4. You can find the link for the winning options in the description. So these can be obtained from the Awaken raid for the week, dropping from the same bosses that previously yielded tier sets. As we recently went over, players will receive an Omni-Token at the end of each Awaken raid, which can be exchanged for a tier set of the same difficulty. As of writing this, there's still no confirmation on whether the Catalyst is returning for Season 4. Same goes for the Great Vault, we don't know if tier sets will continue to drop from there. Assumingly yes, but take it with a pinch of salt. What we do know for sure is that the Season 4 Master Achievement will be coming back, and to get this one you need to complete one of the sub-achievements. These include clearing either of the Heroic Awaken raids, reaching the Challenger Rank 2 in the new PvP season, or earning Keystone Master in Mythic Plus. Earning this achievement grants you the Awaken Mark of Mastery, which can be exchanged for a Heroic equivalent tier piece in PvE or PvP. The NPC for this trade is Harostraza, and she's located once again in the same place with all the other dinar vendors. Okay, so since this is a special bonus season, there will also be special raid rewards. 3 to be more precise, 1 for each meta achievements and for finishing all 3 Dragonflight raids while they're awakened. More specifically, completing all 3 Awaken raids on normal or higher during the season earns you the Voyaging Wanderling mount. This mount appears to be a recolor of the Night Fae mounts in Shadowlands, although there have been some changes made to it. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets more tweaks until it goes live. And I genuinely hope so. I mean, what's up with those creepy teeth? But yeah, anyways, moving on, by completing all 3 Awaken raids on Heroic or higher grants you the Awaken Hero title. Lastly, completing all the Awaken raids on Mythic difficulty rewards you with 3 Path Portals, 1 for each Dragonflight raid, similar to what we receive from the hero achievements in Mythic Plus. Since we won't be getting any new raids in Season 4, it also means there won't be any ahead of the curve or cutting edge achievements. However, there will be new achievements for defeating all bosses in Awaken raids for each difficulty. Alrighty, since we covered the PvE updates, let's dive into what Season 4 has in store for PvP players. As previously, the new PvP season brings with it a range of exclusive rewards, including flashy mounts, new titles, achievements, rankings resets, and more. Let's start by looking at the Vicious mounts. We have the Dream Talon mount, which comes in 2 different colors, 1 for each faction. To earn this cool mount, you'll need to fill up your PvP bar by winning rated PvP matches while holding the combatant rank, which requires a rating of 1000 or higher. Once you've completed your bar at least once and got the Dream Talon, you can then fill it up again by participating in matches if you like to earn additional saddles, which can be exchanged for older PvP mounts. Moving on, for achieving the Gladiator title, the Holy Grail of PvP arenas, you can unlock the exclusive Highland customization, the Draconic Gladiator's Drake. This majestic mount is obtained by winning at least 53 vs 3 games while holding the Elite rank, which requires a rating of 2.4k or above. It's no surprise that this mount is one of the most coveted in PvP, given the challenging requirement it entails. In addition to prestigious mounts, the new PvP season offers the chance to earn impressive titles such as Draconic Gladiator and Draconic Legend. To claim the Draconic Gladiator title, finish Season 4 in the top 0.1% of the 3 vs 3 arena ladder after winning at least 115 games. Meanwhile, achieving the Draconic Legend title requires ending the season in the top 1% of the solo shuffle ladder with a minimum of 50 victories. These are obviously the hardest achievements to obtain, and we're talking about finding the pros amongst the best PvP players. And last but not least, in Season 4, significant changes are also coming to crafted gear. We will see the introduction of a new material called the Spark of Awakening, and to craft this item you need to combine 2 Splinter Sparks along with 250 Flystones. We are speculating that the half spark is again earned weekly on a specific activity similar to previous seasons, but we don't know what it is. It could very well have something to do with the new awaken rates or any other season for activities like Mythic Plus or PvP. It also does seem to drop from doing additional Season 4 content, if you did miss out on the weekly quest. From personal experience, I saw a drop from one of the keys I did, which is really good to have a catch-up mechanism in place. As I mentioned, the Spark of Awakening is created by pairing 2 half sparks. This powerful material, when slotted into crafted gear, it scales its base item level to a range of 489 to 502, depending on the end quality and the skills of the crafter. To maximize the spark's effectiveness though, it's best to hold on to it and pair it with an enchanted crest. The Enchanted Wyrms one elevates the item level from 502 to 515, while the Aspect one further increases it from 512 to 525. These valuable items can be acquired from an enchanter, but first you'll need to obtain the nascent versions from the enchanting vendors. The Nascent Wyrm requires 45 regular Wyrms, while the Nascent Aspect requires 16 normal Aspect ones. The gear crafted with the Spark and the Enchanted Aspect is just one upgrade path lower than the current Mythic gear, so it's really powerful. And as far as PvP goes, you can buy trophies from the vendors in the PvP hub in Valdragen. The Trophy of Conquest, which is the highest one, when paired with a Spark of Awakening, it will increase your gear into a 528 when you are in PvP games. More minor changes will be coming into this season, but to me these are the most notable ones and really worth knowing about. If you think I forgot to mention anything noteworthy, please share it in the comments. If you would like to learn more on how to gear up in Season 4 and how you can obtain the crest and all of that gear, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and I'll make a more detailed gearing guide. As always, thank you so much for watching my content, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date. Good luck with whatever you are doing and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!